Let's give this a shot. Alright, sweet. Beautiful. Pause button works. Everything is going as planned. Or going as planned. This episode, or let me preface everything. Recording another episode. I think I'll have it premiere at some point. But as it currently stands, I'm just recording another episode shortly after the most recent one, just to talk about music, really, because I got really into the music talk last time, and honestly, you know, I just, it's just something I want to talk about because I have a top 10 albums of all time currently on my page, on my YouTube page, and that's really great. It's really awesome that I have that. I have that piece of reference. There's only like one thing I would change, really. Um, I would change out the Coheed album from the Good Apollo and Burning Star 4 from Fear Through the Eyes of Madness. I would change that out with the Second Stage Turbine Blade because I've been listening to that a lot. My like top 20 albums, right? Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, The Airplane Flies High, Siamese Dream, Adore, American Football, self-titled first album, Shed by Title Fight, Pisces Iscariot, Smashing Pumpkins, Stratosphere by Duster, Third Eye Blind's self-titled first album, Gish by Smashing Pumpkins, Strokes of Incarceration by Billy Cobb, Pinkerton, Weezer, 10 Pearl Jam, A Fever You Can't Sort Out, Panic at the Disco, Live in Chicago, Panic at the Disco, Make Believe by Weezer. That's really strange. And yeah, it's really, really strange. Weezer's self-titled first album, which is better than Make Believe. I don't know why Make Believe is up there. That really irks me, actually. The Second Stage Turbine Blade, In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth, and The Bends. I figured. Oh, yep. In Rainbows follows up shortly. Um, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of good stuff in this list. Uh, You'd Prefer an Astronaut, something that didn't quite break my top 10. I figured it's too short, and like it's a really good album, but it's too short, and it's the music isn't as redeemable as American Football's first album, and to me, um, probably albums that would crack my top 20. Tomorrow's Tessellation's first album, they're self-titled, or his self-titled, that depends on how you look at it. Um, that album is 37, and I mean, that's in my top 10 of all time, so that's really weird. Night Visions by Imagine Dragons. That's the first ever album I got, and I love that album even to this day. There's some Coheed in here, a lot of Panic at the Disco. Everything So Far by Pinegrove. I've got Nevermind by Nirvana. I don't even think Bleach is in my top like 150. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna scroll down that far. Okay, Computers in here, of course. From Under the Cork Tree by Fall Out Boy. Yeah, that makes sense. Die Lit by Playboy Cardi. I think I might have a couple rap albums in here. Die Lit is one of them. Kid A is in here of duh. Parachutes by Coldplay. That's such a good album. Parachutes is such a good album. The Minecraft soundtrack, Volume Alpha. I think Volume 2, Volume Beta is in here. Vita. Make Yourself by fucking Incubus is in here. Yeah, this is all really cool stuff. Strokes of Incarceration's Anniversary Edition is in here too. I listened to the original studio version more though. Um, so it's like 200 some minutes plus the. So I mean, in total, I've listened to over 1,000 minutes, which would put it above Third Eye Blind's placement. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of minutes for very many things. I think 1,000 minutes is quite a lot, but like on one album is definitely like a lot, right? The Downward Spiral is on here. That album is really good, but I have to be in a mood to listen to the thing in its entirety. It's nothing against it, but like the Downward Spiral is a very depressing album, and it's called the Downward Spiral. It's very, very good though. That's such a good album. The first time I listened to it, I was probably 15, and I just sat in my room and I listened to the whole thing. Ending on Hurt is a fucking That's crazy. Grace by Jeff Buckley. I think Grace by Jeff Buckley might be one of the most musically perfect and objectively amazing pieces of music ever. The reason it's not in my top 10, I don't resonate with Jeff Buckley like like a lot of people. They have Jeff Buckley resonate, and like Jeff Buckley does touch my heart, and I think Jeff Buckley's music is some of the most important out there. But the reason Grace isn't in my top 10 is all of the songs are really, really, really high quality, and I think Grace is a perfect album. But even the non perfect albums that I do have in my top 10, they resonate more with me and me as an individual. Like, let me give you a good example of like an album in my top 10 or 20. Um, I'll even use Melancholy, where you have a song like Lily, My One and Only, strapped in there, a song that is obviously like not in touch with the rest of the album. That that whole album has contributed to my experience as a human being, whereas Grace doesn't hasn't done that really with me. It has. I would never sit back and say that Grace by Jeff Buckley, the Jeff Buckley album, I would never say that didn't touch me as a person. And those songs are so good. It, they're Grace by by Jeff Buckley. That album is so good that you can't describe how good it is. You just have to listen to it. Because when it was being described to me, like, of course, Hallelujah is like a really big thing, and like if you don't listen to the rest of the album, you're doing yourself a disservice because oh my god, Grace is just such a great album, and like Last Goodbye, Forget Her, Lover You Should Have Come Over. Just Jeff Buckley's such a phenomenal musician. It is such a shame that the world didn't get to experience the beauty of Jeff Buckley's mind more in full. Um, I have a controversial opinion about Nirvana, and I think Kurt Cobain is highly overrated as an individual and as a musician, and I really think that um, the Smashing Pumpkins are more typifying of the alternative and artistic rock scene at the time, and I think the Smashing Pumpkins songs are better and more beautiful. Of course, I'm prone to say that, but Billy Corgan is a better guitarist and he writes better lyrics. Like Melancholy Infinite Sadness is, of course, a phenomenal album, but you look at the lyrics and it's me and my father talk about this often. And it's poetry. Like you look at the lyrics for like 33 or Cupid de Loch, and like it's so beautiful. And Kurt Cobain could write catchy melodies, and he could write good songs, but I think Billy Corgan is a better composer and a better songwriter, like songs that mean something. I have Dirt by Alice in Chains on here. Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is in no particular order. Trench by 21 Pilots. I have no shame. I love Trench by 21 Pilots. It's the first album. I want to say I was 14 or 13 when I pre-ordered Trench. It was the first album I ever pre-ordered, and them coming out of hiatus, I listened to Trench a lot, and it's such a good album. Trench is amazing. Um, oh, excuse me here. Enjoying my Coca-Cola. Melancholy by Salvia Path or Salvia Palth. How's this fucking spelled? Salvia Palth. Okay. Melancholy, a phenomenal album. Lo-fi masterpiece, not quite as good as Helvetia's Gladness or Stratosphere in my opinion, and I don't think that Melancholy compares to things like Waveform or yeah, Found. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's Clay's solo stuff from Duster. Duster members were making bangers out of Duster and then even in Duster. Um, oh, what's the name of that album? That it was like a comeback, and it's got Coffee and Mint on it. Oh, I can't remember. Um, I think Together is the new one. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, I there is not a part of Duster's discography I dislike. I do like all of Duster's discography. I am gradually working my way through Helvetia's discography, but they have a lot of music. And I like a grand majority of it that I've heard so far. I listened to their first album. Don't quite dig it as much as Gladness, but I do really like Gladness and their first. My apologies for not remembering the name of the first Helvetia album. I listened to it the other day, um, but I've listened to so much Helvetia recently that like while I grasp that the band is, aside from Clay, the members of Duster, um, I'm still grasping my head around all the intellectual concepts of their music and whatnot. This is the difference between like casually listening to a band like I do with Dino Gala, Dino Gala, Dino Gala, however you say it. Nothing against that band. I just haven't explored their discography yet, as of yet. That song "Run It Back" by Dino Gala is, oh my god, brings me to tears. Run it back. I don't know what that would be, like post pop or something, but yeah, it's a great song. Anyway, but the difference between casually listening to that, and I will go through Dino Gala's discography at some point, but the difference between that and like intellectually getting into a band like I did with The Cure or like The Smiths or of course any of these other bands I've mentioned like The Right Blind, Smashing Pumpkins, Radiohead, Nirvana. I didn't even really get into Nirvana. Um I listened to Nirvana's discography, but I never resonated with it. I mean, of course I did resonate with it, but I not to the extent like artistically, and like their artistic tracks come in places you don't expect them to. Like Polly's a perfect example of like Kurt Cobain's ability and him exploring the things he could um write about, but we got songs like Heart Shaped Box instead, which Heart Shaped Box is a great song, beautifully written. I like all the guitar lines and whatnot, but it is very commercialized, and that's that. But yeah, when I go into a band's discography and I listen to everything, that's me getting into a band and me coming to associate with the band. Um, even to even with bands I haven't done it extensively. I did listen to the other Charmer album. Um, yeah, that was really cool. It it didn't strike me like the first one, and it's grittier. Like it's of course more used to distortion and whatnot, but I think that sonically it's just grittier than their first album. And when I listen to Charmer, I just expect their first album because I've listened to their first album so much, and man, that first album is really good. Like, oh man, I could gush over Charmer's first album. But yeah, coming to associate with a band, and even if I only do it for one album, like I did with American Football, their first album and their first EP, which is 12 songs in total. If you include the deluxe edition, it might be like 14 or 15. The deluxe edition of their first album. Um, like that, those songs and those albums come to mean a lot to me. Um, I do that with Brackens too, which I'd see now. Hypochondriac. So yeah, I guess you can say I associate more with albums than I do like artists in total. It's very rare for me to associate with an album in total. I don't even or with a band in total. I do it with the Smashing Pumpkins. but intellectually, when I associate myself with the Smashing Pumpkins, I do it in light of their everything to 2000 or everything to 2007, because artistically that's where I put myself. Not a slight against their new music, it's just that style, analog producing and Jimmy Chamberlain's drumming, James Iha and Billy Corgan, and heaven forbid I say the name Darcy Vretsky. Um, that's where I place myself with that band. And the same kind of goes with the Radiohead. I do like a Moonshaped Pool. I wouldn't even really say I dislike the King of the Limbs. Um, However, I do only really associate up into uh, In Rainbows, because that's what I picture. That's what I associate with. So, I mean, yeah, and I do associate with a lot of these. And when I say I associate with, I mean I support the ethos behind the songs, and I like how they sound, and like I can say that affected my taste. Like they the images represented within the album or the themes or whatever it may be. Death of a Bachelor by Panic at the Disco. I would never say that I um that album isn't really like talking. Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time, for example. A pack of camels and a smoke alarm. I don't smoke, and I don't roam the city in a shopping cart with a pack of camels and a smoke alarm. I don't party. I don't do a lot of the. I don't pop champagne. I don't do things like that. But Panic at the Disco, I I love how those songs sound, and I think that Death of a Bachelor is an amazing contribution to music in whole, and that's how I associate with that. And I associate it with Brendan Urie's amazing performing abilities and his amazing vocals on the album, and I do associate with uh, Impossible Year. That is such a good song. Like you, I remember. I think it was 2023 or 2022 where the turn of the year, and I just, oh my god, everything hit me. Like impossible years are real. So yeah, I mean, I do associate with Death of a Bachelor, and I do associate with Panic at the Disco, new and old, except for Viva Las Vengeance. I don't like that album. It's the only thing Panic has released that I just can't say I'd like. Oh, we got some other gems in here. I said Californication earlier, but let me specify and say that I mostly mean Porcelain. A majority of the streams from this album, I've listened to the whole thing front and back. Um, my ex girlfriend's dad, really cool dude. He um played Chili Peppers in the car the one day, and that made me listen to Californication again. But I mostly mean Porcelain. Porcelain is a phenomenal song, and not something you would expect to come from a band like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Not because it's a good song, but because it's in the style that it is. It's like Adam's song coming from Blink 182. You wouldn't expect a good song in that style to come from Blink 182, but alas. Um, it's kind of like how a lot of people wouldn't expect Sparks to come from Coldplay if they didn't listen to their first like 3 4 albums, or not 3 4 albums. Yeah, I would say more like three. But a lot of their music is really sad, personal, emotional, um, really personal, emotional works, and their first 3 albums are sad as hell. Um, yeah, Coldplay. Oh man, Shiver. I remember I had a friend who liked Shiver a lot, and I didn't get it for a long time, and then it just something clicked. I listened to the lyrics more, and and just the instrument, on and on, and just Shiver is such a great song. Shiver, Spies, Obviously, Yellow's a sad song when you look into it and like you actually listen to it. Like you can view the lyrics as cheesy, or you can view them like I view Shiver, where like it's a threnody for your autonomy when you become so attached to someone that like you suffocate without them. And like that's what Yellow is, man. And like that's just how I see it. And of course later on you have um I hate to bring up the scientist only because it's so popular, but man, that music video is probably like the saddest music video I've ever seen in my life. Like I and doing it backwards too. That's fucking that's so evil. Oh my god. Yeah, that's a fucking sad song, and it's so Coldplay, but yeah, Sparks. But yeah, if you listen to their newer music and you hear like songs like Guns, a good song by the way. Um Everyday Life is a really good album. Um you hear like Guns do 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 do, and you hear like Him for the Weekend, and then you hear like Sparks, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? That's so weird. But if you listen to the band as they were, which is how I do, I gravitate towards first albums. Imagine Dragons, Panic at the Disco, My Chemical Romance. It's only very recently that Bullets has become my favorite My Chemical Romance album, but it is really good. I do like Three Cheers. I do like the Black Parade, but I've come to distance myself from it, mostly because I've distanced myself from pop punk in general. But I think there's so much to be appreciated with Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, and I have Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge to partially thank for my existence. That's a story for a different day. Um, but yeah, their first album is really good and really stylistic, and it's it's gritty. It's got teeth, you know. But yeah, first albums are usually a me thing. There are a couple sophomore albums I really like, and like after you go off from first and second albums, you I get lost a little bit. Um, yeah, like normally I don't cling on to later works. I don't know why. Radiohead did the Radiohead has a perfect example where they don't follow the Radiohead and Smashing Pumpkins, my two favorite bands, like have this thing where they defy like my normal logic, and like the way I think of it, like I don't care much for Pablo Honey. I like Gish more than Pablo Honey, and then Siamese Dream is the second album, and I do like Siamese Dream more than I like the Bends. I do like the Bends. I think I like the Bends more than I like Gish though. Um and then Melancholy, what's the third Radiohead album? Let me look this up actually. Make sure I don't fuck this up. Yeah, it's so ironic for me to be like, "Oh yeah, these guys are my favorite bands," and then I don't even know the order in which they release, you know, music in. So apologies for that. I'm going to consider the third release for the Smashing Pumpkins, Pisces Iscariot. So, what comes after the Bends? Baby's got the Bends. Um, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, computer. Yeah, I would forget that. I would forget that too. That's so stupid. I'm so dumb. Oh, so yeah, okay, computer. I do like okay, computer more than I like Pisces Iscariot. I do love both a lot. So, and then there's Kid A and Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Oh God, that's a Titan lineup right there. I Melancholy obviously for me, but nothing against Kid A and Amnesiac. I do love Kid A and Amnesiac. Um, And then Adore matches up with Amnesiac, and I do like Adore more than I like Amnesiac. If it was Adore and Kid A, I would probably choose Kid A. Or it depends on the day and how I'm feeling. But yeah, like you'll notice here, I do like their more progressive releases and Radiohead. Yeah, so Radiohead keeps my attention all the way up until In Rainbows, which means they have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven albums I dig. I do like Machina too, but I think the Pumpkins is actually less than that. But I like the Pumpkin stuff more that I do like, and yeah, I think Radiohead is at a good stopping point with making new music, where Tom York can go off and do his own thing, but the band doesn't. They don't need to do anything else. They've slapped everything together, and a Moonshaped Pool is just a treat where the Smashing Pumpkins are doing really weird shit. But yeah, I will forever respect the Smashing Pumpkins and their amazingness. So yeah, that's how those two. But I do gravitate towards first albums. Elliott Smith is another good example, which I actually don't know if I like that or either or more. I haven't listened to EXO in its entirety yet. I might actually scratch me saying that out loud from ever existing, because that's obviously not something I should say aloud, because EXO's, I hear really good things about it and I've read good reviews about it. But um Brackens also has this weird thing where I don't. I mean, let me rephrase. I do like his first earlier couple albums, but Hypochondriac is beautiful. Oh my god. Hypochondriac, the song Hypochondriac has this, it's so beautiful and melodic, and then the hyper pop and the rapping and the guitar playing, the Midwest emo influence. Dude, I eat that shit up. Oh. Dude, Brackens, I could go on and on. Oh, the fact that Make Yourself is my number one Incubus album might be a falter, cuz um I like Morning View more. Like a good bit more, and it's a long way down here. It's number 80. Wow. Oh, Morning View, and then there's two Morning Views on here. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, number 80 and 90 are Morning View. Jar of Flies by Alice in Chains. I think Dirt is better. I'm sure that's probably not the right thing to say. Why is the color and the shape on here? It is my favorite Foo Fighters album, but it kind of high on here for albums that I. There are albums I like more that are a significant, a different age by Current Joys, for example, or like, I okay. I'm gonna say 1X by 3 Days Grace, and dude, I actually, oh my god, I fuck with 3 Days Grace so hard, man. I I like their first two albums. I would say their second album I like more than their first. I don't know though. Linkin Park, Meteora was on here earlier. I don't know why I didn't say anything. I have no shame for my love for Linkin Park. Meteora is so good. Holy shit, Meteora is like nut bustingly good. Loveless by My Bloody Valentine. Oh, that album's so good. Shoegaze masterpiece. I wouldn't say it's as good as Suvlaki by the fucking people. What are they called? Um, Suvlaki, Suvlaki. Slow Dive. There we go. There we go. Um, but you know, I do think Loveless is beautiful, and obviously it is a massive contribution to music history. Um, you see My Bloody Valentine shit everywhere, even if you don't know it. Dookie by Green Day, best Green Day album. Argue with Your Mother. No, I'm just kidding. I understand why people like the other ones, like Nimrod. I can even see like having Kerplunk as a favorite if you really like that punk music. You know, you really like that style. I wanna be your dominated love slave. Uh, yeah, man. Fucking, what was I saying? I got so caught up in dominated love slave. Uh, yeah. American Idiot, of course. Even 21st Century Breakdown, I could see someone having that as their fave. Even though that album is really, like, that was a legit yawn, but you get my point. Um, Life of a Ghost by Blue Foundation is in my top 250, but I'll give you a little heads up. I don't care for the rest of the album, but but I do like Eyes on Fire a lot. That's probably what that is, honestly. Oh my god, Eyes on Fire is I love Twilight. You know, I'm a big sucker for the Twilight movies, but Eyes on Fire, that dude, the soundtrack has so many bangers on it. That one song, Full Moon, when the full moon turns white. There's that song. Oh my god, dude, I like that one. 15 Step off of In Rainbows. Oh my god, yes. Um, Rob Pattinson's the Rob Pattinson song, um, "Let Me Sign." Dude, I'm gonna purchase the Twilight soundtrack just for that song, cause, oh, boy, I just love it. Uh, of course the piano pieces are nice. It's Claude Debussy. What? What is it? Claire de Lune? I'm not sure. But Bella's Lullaby, you know, I love the Twilight soundtrack. Um, yeah. So the Twilight soundtrack's pretty good. They also introduced me to Tom York's solo music because I had heard about it, but I didn't listen until I watched. It's either New Moon or Eclipse that has hearing damage, and I heard that shit. I'm like, man, is that Radiohead? And yeah, I'm stupid as shit for that. But yeah, I listened to that, and you know, I listened to hearing damage. And I'm like, god damn, good grief, good gravy. Um, he has left us alone, but shafts of light sometimes grace the corner of our room by the Silver Mount Saint Zion. I think that's post rock. Evan Button post rock love here. That's crazy. Some Smiths. Barrel of Fun by Ollie Beard. Hell yeah. Or Ollie Bird. Whatever. However you want to look at it. The Life of Pablo by Kanye West. It's such a shame that he's an asshole because I would be so proud to express my love for The Life of Pablo. Man on the Moon 2 by Kid Cudi. I like it more than Man on the Moon 1. Man on the Moon 1. I don't know. I like the whole dreams thing and whatnot from the first one, but I don't know. The story of Mr. Rager, yeah, Mr. Scott Miscuddy as Mr. Rager, I don't know. That song, Mr. Rager, is also really, really good and really emotional. Day and Night is to an extent, but it's got that 2000s like do 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 day and night. But Mr. Rager doesn't have that. Mr. Rager is all just like it's all just a somber retelling of, you know, Scott Miscuddy talking to himself being Mr. Rager, and I think that's really great. Karma versus the Invisible Man by Billy Cobb. There's no way the Bear album by Billy Cobb isn't on here higher. No, you're shitting me. Okay. I guess I've listened to that one more. Um, oh, the Metallica album I have up here is Injustice for All. Okay. Dark Side of the Moon, you know, obligatory shit, pretty much. Infinity on High. Ho ho ho. A Rush of Blood to the Head. Blonde by Frank Ocean. Um, White Ferrari, dude. Man, that song. Whew. Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Hell yeah. Dude, that whole album is so good. It's a little, it gets a little goofy at times, but Blood Sugar Sex Magic I think is better than Californication, very narrowly. Led Zeppelin's first album, hell yeah. There's Billy Cobb's Bear album. Carnivus by Silver Sun Pickups, mostly 3 seed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that song Three Seed is fucking phenomenal. Um, Summer Death is already in my top 250. Wow, I listened to a lot of Marietta. American Thighs by Veruca Salt. Thank you to my old friend for getting me into Veruca Salt. Maybe Eight Arms to Hold You might be on here. Dream Ivory is in here, dude. I didn't expect that. I listened to them, but I didn't think I listened to them that much. Oh, another thank you to my old friend, uh, for Pursuit by Stuck in the Sound being on here. No Need to Argue by the Cranberries. Uh, Everyone else is doing it, so why can't we? I think that should be higher. I can't believe it's not higher. That's really weird. Donda's on here. Baby on Baby by the Baby's on here too. John Mayer's solo album, or not? Well, yeah, all of John Mayer's albums are solo albums. Where the Light Is, the live album, that's on there. Dizzy Up the Girl, First Man on the Moon, or First Band on the Moon. My apologies. The Cardigans album, that's already in my top 252. Wow. Teen Suicide? Yep. I Will Be My Own Hell. I can't remember the rest of it, but that's crazy. That Teen Suicide album is really fucking sad. Um, yeah, wow. And Serenading by Mineral is on here. That makes so much sense. Like, Just Married by Glockamora is in my 250. Disintegrate by The Cure. Torches by Foster the People? Really? It's been a while since I've listened to Foster the People in general. Torches is a really good album, though. I'm surprised I'm not seeing Native by One Republic. It might be lower, because I'm still in, like, the 150s. Library by Waveform. Duh. I'm surprised that's not higher. My number one Cure album, going up a little bit, is Three Imaginary Boys, which, it's my favorite Cure album. The Dinosaurs by Stegosaurus Rex. I do like my, Stegosaurus Rex. I do like my, electronica music every now and again. Shameless plug for, Method. The Evan Button masterpiece. Shiny and Oh So Bright by the Smashing Pumpkins. That's how much I dick ride the Smashing Pumpkins. As I listen to their music, I don't even really, resonate with that much. That's crazy. That's in my top 250. I'll Be Okay by Sign Crusher's Motorist. Evan Button, Try Not to Be Suicidal for a week challenge. Your City Gave Me Asthma by Vilbur Suit. I guess there's allegations against him, so I can't really say anything positive about him. I will say positive things about his music though. Album's fucking great. Saline Solution is such a good song. Those Days Are Gone by Free Throw. I can't believe that's not higher, because I've listened to that. Is it an EP or is it an album? Yeah, it's okay. It's considered an album. Yeah. So, yeah, I've listened to that a fuck ton. Just like End Serenading. I expect a lot of these to be higher, like Algernon Cadwallader. I have Jar by Super Heaven in my top 250, and I have Super Unknown. I've listened to the song Maple by Wyatt Smith so much, it's number 155. That's crazy. I haven't listened to anything else Wyatt Smith has ever released except for that song, and I probably sound like an idiot saying that, because if any of his songs are even half as good as the song Maple, then honestly, let me think. If I had to make a top 10 songs of all time, I'd have okay, with one song from each musician, so that limits me to 1979 or Dizzle or Ugly or whatever Smashing Pumpkin song I choose. But number 2 would probably be Makeup by Waveform, and then somewhere in that early section would probably be Maple. That song is so good. What would I do? There would be a Tomorrow's Tessellation. Probably the early version of Current that only I remember. if you know, you know. Dude, I wish I could listen to that version again, but lo and behold, here I am. Dude, there was this band on Spotify called Posture, and I fucking talked to the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I want to like listen to rap or not listen to rap. I want to like make rap." And I'm like, "Dude, I fucking love that rock stuff. You can just put that up, and I'll listen to your rap stuff, man. I don't really care. I just want to listen to Spiders on the Wall by Posture, or I want to listen to Little Lady or Spiders on the Wall, Little Lady. Um, yeah, there are other songs, but you get my point." Generally. But man, that's so sad that I'll never be able to listen to those songs again. You know, and I love those songs too. I was so passionately like do 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 do. Man, I could learn how to play that, but man, it's such a shame that that shit happens. But yeah, where am I? Bigger Than the Devil by SOD. What? That's already on here. That's crazy. License to Ill. I do like my Beastie Boys, dude. It's such a good album. The Open Door by Evanescence, dude. All That I Am Living For. Oh man, my old manager at Little Caesars introduced me to that song, and let me fucking tell you, that song is so good, man. That whole album is so good. I do like my Evanescence, and man, what what else what else is here? The Hamilton soundtrack. That's crazy. So crazy. Football ETC, dude. The Draft. I think that's an album. Yeah. Another really good album, like front to back. Some Kind of Cadwallader by Algernon Cadwallader. If you've never listened to Football ETC, man, you're missing out. 40 Ounces to Freedom by Sublime. 1,000 Gex by 100 Gex. Starboy by The Weeknd. Pacific Daydream. What? There's that. Everybody else is doing it, so why can't, or why is it why can't we, or why shouldn't we? Yeah, why can't we? No World for Tomorrow by Coheed. Melophobia by Cage the Elephant. Punk 2 by Brackens. Head Carrier by the Pixies. Do I not have Doolittle by the Pixies in my top 250? It would appear not. Number 251 for me is Maladroit by Weezer. The Years of Decay by Overkill is 250. Yeah, that's the songs on that album are long, I think. Friendly Fire's self-titled first album, dude. I it's one of my favorite pop albums of all time. Frog Stomp by Silverchair, dude. Suicidal Dream. It's no joke, brother. Science by Incubus. That's a really interesting album, I'll tell you that. Out of the Vein by Third Eye Blind. Fuck yeah. I think I mentioned in the last one that I'm going to see Third Eye Blind here soon. With my dad. That's gonna be so fucking cool. In All Her Friends by November and July. If you know, you know. Unorthodox Jukebox by Bruno Mars. I think that's my favorite Bruno Mars album. If it's not that then it's probably 21K Magic or so, dude, it's been so long since I've like sat down and listened to Bruno Mars that I may be a little shaky on the names, but I do know Unorthodox Jukebox is my favorite for sure. Pop Food by Jack Stauber. Just generally good album. Ride the Lightning by Metallica. Hell yeah. Still Bummed by Nouns. I don't know if I brought that up already. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Beach Music. Beach Music by Alex Jean. I do believe Trick was up there somewhere earlier too. Did I mention Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division? I'm so depressed. Toxicity by System of a Down. I'm kind of just backtracking, make sure I didn't miss anything good. Um, Starry Cat by Starry Cat, dude. Starry Cat is so slept on, bro. Oh my god. And then Sweet Spell by Tyler Burkhart. Holy shit. Tyler Burkhart's so good. Uh, in the Bathtub of the World, dude. That song fucking gets me right in my feels. I wondered if Interstate by uh, Modest Mouse. There we go. I wonder if that's on there because I've listened to Edit the Sad Parts a lot. I haven't listened to the rest of the album. I don't really listen to Modest Mouse, honestly. I probably could get into their stuff, but like I have a lot of stuff I just listen to, and most of it's Midwest emo. So for me to branch out and do something new is kind of uncharacteristic of me anymore. No, it's I think it's F sharp A Infinite by Godspeed You Black Emperor. That not being on there confuses me. No to Be Kind by Swans. No, damn it. What's the name of that Low album? Uh Hold on. Let me What is it? I Could Live in Hope. There we go. I can't believe that's not on there. Well, now I can since I had to look the name of the album up. So my stats all time, right? So for the past 4 weeks, or no, I'm not gonna do all that. At 30K streams all time, 92,000 minutes, 7.68 thousand streams, or 7.68 thousand tracks, then 1.92 thousand artists, and 3.14K albums. Wait, 1.92K artists, yeah, and then 3.14K albums. So, yeah, I mean, I've listened to a lot of stuff, and I don't do what a lot of people do. Like, I don't leave music running all day. Like, I don't know. I have nothing against people who do that, but I mean, I play music myself, and I mean, I have a drum set, keyboard, bass, an acoustic guitar, and an electric guitar in my room, and I still have my good old CD player here. What's in this right now, actually? Oh, nothing. But yeah, so I still listen to CDs, and I still love CDs, and I listen to music on YouTube sometimes too. Like I don't watch music videos anymore. I mean, I wish I did because I love music videos, but I don't really like maintain attention to things like watchable media unless it's like movies or TV shows. Yeah. I mean, I'll talk about movies in another episode because I do like movies, but I haven't always been like that. I used to watch a lot of TV shows. I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender a lot as a kid, and yeah, that was kind of spoiling me because Avatar: The Last Airbender is a really high quality show. I watched Cars a lot as a kid too, but I wasn't always like that. Whereas with music, basically, since I discovered like listening to music, like I didn't grasp albums or like CDs, discs, extended plays, long plays. Um, I didn't grasp that until later on, and like I still liked listening to music. I remember DJ Got Us Falling in Love by Usher. I used to like that song a lot. I still do. I think it's a great song. 'Cause baby tonight. I used to listen to Minecraft remakes. Everyone knows that Creeper got us or Creeper's trying to steal all our stuff. The Captain Sparkle song. Um Jason Stokes' Minecraft universe had Eclipse, and I used to listen to a lot of EDM. Like I used to listen to Calvin Harris and Skrillex. I actually have started listening to Skrillex's early stuff, but like I can't help but think that I want to kill everybody in the world. I ugh. I that's a little too much for me. I was like, but I love the sounds that like that synthesizer used on Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. Dude, I love the sound of that. And then yeah, I do like Equinox, and yeah, it just brings me back, man. But yeah, Eclipse by Jason Stokes, Minecraft Universe, and then Criminal by Jason Stokes came out, and I like that too. So I listened to EDM for a long time, and then my parents used to. I I was never really subjected to my father's music that much, honestly. Like I don't have any real memories of my dad like having me listen to anything. My grandfather, before his passing, rest in peace to my grandfather, very incredible man. Um, he was big into the Beatles, so I always had a fondness for the Beatles, but I was always subjected to my mother's music, and I ended up liking a lot of it. I've kind of distanced myself from the metal, but Three Seed by the Silver Sun Pickups that I mentioned earlier, my mother was listening to that while she was like doing her stuff, like her classes and whatnot, the one day, and I'm like, what is this song? And she told me the name, and I'm like, God damn, here we are. And like that album is in my top 250, and I've been listening to it for like, what, 3 months now? Or not 3 months, it's been longer than that at this point. But like, that's just crazy what I pick up on. But yeah, my mother's a big metalhead. She likes Corn and Five Finger Death Punch and all that stuff. And not that I have any problems with that. It's just like I don't. I'm not a very like. I don't listen to a lot of like heavy stuff. I mean, I do, but I listen to more core shit, like a hardcore emotional shit. Like, you know, American football isn't really hardcore, but like it's emotional, it's emo shit. And my mom just doesn't get that. She doesn't get the whole Midwest emo stuff. And my mother doesn't listen to my music either. My dad listens to my music, I think, every now and again, but like my music is so niche, and you have to like, I think, to understand where I'm coming from, like as a musician, you have to be in a very specific niche, and I think that's why like people like November and July don't get a lot of traction, because you have to get it, or else it's just gonna be like underproduced schlock to you. And I mean, that's why Cascade is like kaput. Like I've written every song and riff I've wanted to. So in the future, like that's why Cascade exists, is so I can be under a moniker where I can release whatever I want under my standards. But if I release under myself, Evan Button, it's gonna be more, streamlined, musically etiquette. Like it's gonna have more musical etiquette, and more, just more in general. Like it'll be put together, the way that music should be, and not the minimalist stuff that I've been putting together. So yeah, my mom and my dad likes the method stuff. He likes that electronic stuff, and I'm glad he does. I'm glad there are people out there that do like the method stuff, because um some of my most like some of my the damn it, how do I want to put this? Cerebrally coming at music from an intellectual standpoint, where you think of everything as a string of, how you say, like, as a string of, notes and rhythms and all the numbers and letters instead of like playing or being quote unquote from the heart. I approached the Method albums more uh intellectually, not in that the songs were about anything. It's like that was music in its craftsmanship with no draw from the human aspect. It was just music, no lyrics, nothing like that. Like there was no emotion in the playing because there was no playing. It was a string of compositions. And so I got to explore harmonic functions. I got ultimately as a musician, making the Method albums was generally a beneficial thing for me because it got me to explore harmonic functions. It got me to explore different keys and explore sonic variables that helped me in my future songwriting. It allowed me to harmonically explore like mobile bass lines and whatnot, and different chord progressions, just as they related to each other, not even in a specific key, but like going from 1 to 4 to 3 to 2 obviously is a different, it's going to sound different than 1 to a 3 to a 6, yeah, 1 to a 3 to a 6 to a 5. Everything. I was able to put that together, and I got to experience a lot of chord extensions or arpeggiations, or is that a word, arpeggiation? I got to explore a lot of arpeggios and chord inversions and rhythm, all that stuff that's important as a musician. Making the Method albums was very beneficial, and it wasn't always fun, but it was fun at points. Like Method Halloween is a perfect example. Method Ultimate, I didn't have fun making every track. I had fun making a lot of them, but Method Halloween was pieced together to try to be a Halloween album, and I got to try new things. And I had excuses to use unusual intervals and unusual sonic functions that made Method Halloween, and I think Method Halloween turned out very good for what it is, and I'm very happy I had a reason to make that, and that it was a birthday present to myself, and the design, I had so much fun piecing it together, and all the enthusiasm from my father and Jacob about Method Halloween was amazing. It made me feel really good. But on the flip side, from me making my music, the guitar stuff, the stuff that isn't electronic, all that stuff comes from the heart, and you know, say what you will about my music or its simplicity or its how it's mixed or the songwriting or the lyrics or whatever. Like, I did everything, except for, well, Red Scare's obviously Red Scare, and the McGarry method is shout out to the brother Landon McGarry. Um, everything with the Red Scare with Joshua, that's something to be talked about, and how much fun I had, and the love I had for that album. Um, and when I say that album, the first one obviously that has a special place in my heart too. But 2004, 2005, um, like the amount of fun I had writing the songs on that album and playing with someone I consider to be the one of the other halves of me. Pause on that, but obviously one of the people that I consider to be like a brother to me, and like obviously making those albums and those songs with him is one of the things I cherish, like in memory. But Cascade in its entirety, what is Cascade, I mostly did by myself. There are some appearances from other people, and um I don't want to say this like I view that as blemishes on the patch, but I do like Cascade being a majority. Like, Cascade is what belongs to me. It's music by me, for me, you know, to be shared by me. But I don't mind having Jacob, another individual. The man is basically my brother. You know, Jacob and I, we've known each other for a very long time. The man is one of my greatest friends and one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life, and it's someone I am more than pleased to have the honor of calling my friend. I'm okay with someone like him appearing on a Cascade release or two, because it's I don't have very much to offer as an individual, but if I can show you the appreciation by letting him do the things he likes, like when he produced a grand majority of the songs on the Drifter single, I was more than happy to let him do that because he wanted to and he expressed an explicit desire. And if I can at all ever repay him for the service he has done to me as an individual, then I of course I'm obligated to, but I'm more than happy to fulfill that. So yeah, I mean, Cascade mostly belongs to me, but there are things that people put their input in, and the pictures too. So all of my releases have their varying levels of person, like they have their various levels of personability. Like for example, the final cut is all me. All the songs were recorded by me. Was convened in secrecy to myself. I recorded this. I didn't let anybody know I was recording that album, especially it's a fucking long ass album. I took the picture. I did everything for that, but then you have let me let me come up with something here. You have a release like Morphine, or no, not Morphine, because that's so lame. But you have one where the Inclination single where someone else took the picture. I think my ex took that picture. Oh, one of my exes, not the ex that was mentioned earlier. I have a lot of exes. Not really. I only have like four exes. Or the big four, right? Um, but one of my exes took that picture. One of them is named after him. One of the songs on that is named after him. And I would never take that down. Um, I uh, how do I want to say this? I have an intense appreciation for all the people that have came and gone in my life. I have no ill will towards people, even people that have done me wrong. I understand that all people are people. And a lot of these people that have been in my life have done me a great service. Like all my exes, um, they were here and now they're not here, and that's growing up, man. Um, it's unrealistic for me to expect every relationship I have to work out 100% of the time. That doesn't stop me. I never expect anything to fail, but like, yeah. So a single like that where someone else took the picture and then I think he chose the titles for both of them, for or not both of them. So one is named after him, and then the other two tracks are words chosen by him. And like that is obviously less personal to me, and it's more something I share. And then like um obviously all the demo compilations, whether it be the archives, which the archive has always been really the archive has always been really open and out there. A lot of the demo compilations are like that where it's really just a mixed pot. Joshua, the song um that is on the Alexander's Lament single, uh that is a perfect example where it's more of a mixed pot, and it's me sharing. Of course I have my personal releases, but the second archive picture was taken by Joshua. It's one of his I think it might have been like his locker or something like that. But and the first one was taken by my father. Tribute to Dad. I think my grandmother took that picture, and it's obviously really old because it's me as a kid. Um, damn. Uh, my mother took the picture for the Honesty single. Uh, yeah, kind of my bad because I don't really ask for permission. I didn't really ask for permission to use those pictures, but anyone that isn't my parents or my brother, because the 11 or the 111 a.m. single picture was taken by my brother, and he got really snippy with me because I used that picture. He's like, "Oh, you owe me some of the profits," and it's like, motherfucker, I don't make any profit from my music anyway. It's more of an artistic expression. Um, but yeah, my mother actually during that argument, because it was all those years ago when I was still like, a kid, quote unquote, because it's first method, so like 3-4 years ago, and my mom's like, just let him use the fucking album art. So in hindsight, thanks, Mom. You had my ass for that, or not had my ass. You had my back for that, which I appreciate. But yeah, and I had this friend for a while. She's really cool. It's a shame she's a sultry individual. And yeah, the Cascade discography, what was the original Cascade demos picture, the the from Wien to Berlin, that picture, which I love so very much, by the way. I think that's one of my best pictures. Um, a lot of those pictures she took, and a lot of them are cool. My friend Cade Booker, good friend of mine. Thank you, Cade, for everything. You're awesome, dude. He sent me a couple. Landon's car. I took the one for the "You Should Say" single. You know, just we were driving at night. I miss those late night drives. Man, I'd kill to have those times back, bro. I would love to just be there again. We went to um a local landmark at like 11 o'clock at night, just driving around fucking about, and oh my god, it's a bridge, so yeah, we were dude, we all went on this bridge late as fuck at night, and oh my god, dude, it was so fun. And I'll just remember, dude, we were all fraidy cats. So it was Landon, Joshua, and I did we go to Applebee's that night? No, we went to Applebee's a different night, but or at least I think so. We might have, but I'm not sure. So we're all walking back to Landon's car after walking on the bridge. Mind you, it's fucking pitch black. I think I might have held Joshua's hand. Like, so, like, I'm walking back, right, and, I think I said something along the line of, what if we get to your car and someone's in there? And he's like, I'll never get that reaction, dude. It's so fucking funny. That was so evil of me to say, too. I had no reason to say that. But, dude, oh my god, I had no reason to say that, bro. That's fucking terrible. But, yeah, that was so fun. Ah, shit, man. Better days, dude. Better days. What are some other noteworthy ones? Jacob, obviously the Cincinnati single, which oh my god, that album art is fucking out of the water good. Oh my god, there's nothing that's gonna ever beat that album art. Um, but yeah, there are things that are personal to me. I took the picture for Hollow Words in the Spiral at like 4 o'clock in the morning because I rode my bike to hang out with my ex really early in the morning, and I had to work. I'm a fucking idiot. I did it for what was essentially like no reason. Uh, man, those were the days, man. Let me pull up some of my album art real quick. Not out yet, but I think the album is called Tales from Apocrypha. That picture is my ex and I, which I mean if there's no, you know, expressed will to change that, then gonna I'm not gonna change it if I don't have to. You know. Oh man. So there's my friend Armani took the one for Harvest. So yeah, thank you to him for that. And then most of these other ones are me. I'm looking at all of my art right now. And my friend Cade took the one for fuck if I can't remember the name of the release. Jacob took the one for Diplomatic Immunity. But yeah, most of these other ones are just pictures I've taken. My friend, ex-friend, took the one for Mom, I'm Coming Home. Astros is actually a screenshot from Universe Sandbox. The Misery Theory, dude, that Misery Theory album art is actually so gas. Yeah, that's one of my proudest ones. That's actually Joshua standing there. So yeah, secret's out. Yeah, so the first archive is a picture my father took. And then I think my ex took the picture for Dipper. And my other friend took a picture in Greece, and that became Vios. Another friend of mine took the picture for the bees memorandum thing there. It's not memorandum. What's the name of the fucking thing? The bees, you know, ode. The ode to the bees there. The you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, in my room, I had been hospitalized for some time for Evan Buttonly reasons. And yeah, I came back and my mother had like cleaned my room. I took a picture and I'm like, man, that's really good. I've changed the setup from then. My room basically doesn't look the same at all, but yeah, no, it was really cool of my mom to do that. I was really appreciative for that. So the Ugly Gravity demo cover, the only cover I have on my Spotify. I don't know where that album art comes from actually, because everything else I know where it comes from. I took the one for the Cascade Gravity Demos album. I took that picture from inside. I think it's inside or like mildly outside the Little Caesars when I worked there. The A-list is in my room. The most pristine picture I've ever gotten of something in my room. Please Come Back, I'm Really Sorry and I Miss You. That single, the picture for that was taken. That was just taken in my room. And then a lot of these are just wilderness pictures that I've taken. I was in school when I took the one for the Duo Fratres. Or the Duo Fratres. And some of these are AI generated, which is sad. Oh, I'm not even going to get started. But, yeah, the Ramble, the Silers, Blue, Life is whatever, I can't remember the name of the song. Friend. Come on. It's escaping me. These are all like too far and not recent vintage. But Knocked. Alexander's Lament was taken from my porch. But yeah, those ones are all taken by yours truly. I think that's Kaimru, but the Kaimru, that EP, those were all taken by me. But yeah, I think that's a grand majority of my releases explained, and then yeah. So yeah, Cascade is finito, and you know I've Red Scare and shit'll still be on. I'll still be writing and maybe recording, but I don't think I'll put anything else out. I don't have any reason to. I've been writing 2-part songs, like songs made for two people to sing, not like a duet, but one part is sang by one person, then another by the other. Sounds like a Fleetwood Mac thing almost ish. But yeah, that's basically what I've been working on. I have been writing a lot of lyrics lately, and I mean, I just hope something good comes of my music in the future. So, yeah, I want to play shows at some point. I want to get music. I want to get, I'm a very musically oriented person. I'd like to play for people, I'd like to play in a band. But as for my own creative decisions, I've done all I want to do, you know? So, unless I start making creative music, Evan Button signing out as a solo musician. Um, Anybody that's listened, thank you. But yeah, it's almost midnight and I've been recording for almost an hour and a half. And, well, probably longer than that if you take into consideration pauses and whatnot. And you can hear in my voice that my voice is like going, crackle, crackle, crackle. So that's gonna do it. That's gonna do me in here. It says an hour and 20 minutes. It condenses, I think, a little bit, but yeah, this is slated to be my longest episode so far. And yeah, that'll do it. Thank you so very much for watching, and have yourself a nice day, or night, or evening, or if you're diurnal, have a nice day. If you're crepuscular, have a good dawn and dusk, and if you're nocturnal, have a good night. Um, yeah, yours truly, Evan Cascade Button, hitting the hay. See you later, deuces, folks.